Welcome to my Wabasha studio today. Today we're going to do a 20-minute sequence that is a good sequence for you to work on when you first get up in the morning. If you need a little bit of a break in the middle of your workday, or even in the evening if you are feeling like you might need a nice way to relax before you go to sleep at night. We will be doing some seated poses. We'll be doing a couple of standing poses. We'll also go through possibly one sun salutation today, just to get our body warmed up. So when we find our way into our short practice, we just want to find a nice, comfortable seat. As you settle into that seat, if cross-legged is not a comfortable place for you, feel free to let your legs come out in front of you. You can bring just the soles of your feet together. You want to find that place that really works for you personally. It's not about getting deep into the pose. It's about finding the place where your body is comfortable and happy. So once you find that seat, let your eyes close, let your shoulders relax, and just let yourself settle into your space on your mat. Keeping in mind that the breath is the most important part of your practice today. So if a pose isn't feeling comfortable for you today, just skip past that pose or find something else to do. Don't force yourself into places that your body doesn't belong. This is your practice. It's not mine, it's yours. What's happening on your mat is really the only important thing today. So let's start to just kind of release through the neck a bit. So with those nice soft shoulders, exhale your nose forward. Inhale at your right ear, come up towards your right shoulder. Exhale back to the front. And inhale to the left. Go a couple more times, just releasing through the neck. So we inhale, coming up to the right. We exhale to the front and inhale. Relax. Your own breath. Each side one more time. And then just let that nose settle to the front. And an inhale, let your gaze come forward. Drop your arms to your sides and let your arms rise. Intertwine your fingers at the top. So kind of hold hands with yourself and then let the palms rise. So as you let those palms rise, lift, stretch, create space from your tailbone all the way up through those palms. Our shoulders lift and then soften the shoulders. Drop on an exhale to the left. Take a nice breath. Feel that release through your right side body. Inhale, come back to center. Exhale, release to the right. Again, just softly release over. Feel a lengthening this time along your left side body probably. You might be feeling it in a different place in your body. Wherever you're feeling it is exactly where you are supposed to be feeling it. Inhale back to the sky. Release your arms forward. Let the spine release. I want you to imagine as if someone's got a belt tied around your waist and they're pulling you back as you're pulling forward. And breathe. Then inhale and let your hands come back to the sky. Release the hands. Drop your left hand to your right knee. Walk your right hand behind. Inhale, lift through the crown of your head and take a peek back over your right shoulder. So feel as if someone's got a string attached to the crown of your head on your inhale. And on each exhale, deepen that twist just a bit, whatever feels good for you. And breathe. Now on our next inhale, let's let our hands rise back to the sky. On an exhale, take that twist to the other side. So let your right hand come to your left knee. Walk the left hand behind. Again on this side, feel that lift on your inhale and feel that deepening of the twist on your exhale. Inhale, let those hands come back to the sky. On an exhale, let your hands come to prayer at your heart. Release your hands to your knees. Find that comfortable seat again. Close your eyes. Take a breath. On your next inhale, let your eyes open. We're going to come around and find all fours. As we come into that all fours place, we're going to slide back first into an extended child's pose. The extended child's pose is the place where you are welcome to come into whenever your body needs a little break. If something isn't feeling right for you, you are welcome to settle into this place, just listening to your body. I'm going to put a blanket in front of me today because this isn't a comfortable pose for everyone. So I'm going to put a blanket in front of me today and start to release forward as I walk my hands out. So your knees can come apart or they can stay closer together. I like to have my big toes slide toward each other as I release my buns kind of back toward my heels. Let your arms walk out in front of you. Now, if you have shoulder issues, bring your arms into your sides and let your forehead come down onto your blanket or your mat. If your shoulders feel good and this feels like a really nice stretch for you, let the shoulders or let your hands walk out and release your forehead to the mat. And breathe. Take a few nice, deep, even breaths here. Taking this opportunity as well to take a gentle scan of your body. Notice if there's any areas that are asking for some more extra attention today, or if there's areas of your body that might not need anything today, or you might even want to kind of avoid working particular areas. So listen to your body here. Now when you inhale next, come up through all fours. Let your hands come under your shoulders. Let your knees come under your hips. This is another place where this blanket might be a really handy little thing to have on your mat. Your knees are feeling unhappy. Just come up onto your blanket. Let your hands press into the ground. As you exhale, let your spine rise and your head fall. As you inhale, let your belly fall and your head rise. And breathe. Now, another thing to think about here is releasing through the neck and shoulders, letting your hips settle from left to right. Just working into your body. Starting to notice where you're holding tension, where your body is asking for that a little extra attention today. I'm kind of noticing it in my shoulders and my upper back. Kind of the time of year when I spend a lot of time indoors. I spend a lot of time on my computer working. So it's just kind of nice to let the body release a bit. Let's settle back to your tabletop. This is called our tabletop. So engage your core, hug your belly button in, stay long from tailbone to crown. Let your gaze settle at the mat and breathe. Let's turn our toes. On an inhale, lift up and find a downward facing dog. Now, as you come into this first downward facing dog, first of all, if you have any issues with high blood pressure, or if you get even the slightest bit lightheaded, bring a chair over and put your hands on a chair to do your downward facing dog. Otherwise, turn the toes, lift toward the sky. So you lift your buns toward the sky. We settle back into the heels of our hands and into the heels of our feet. Now, if you notice, my arms are relatively straight. So you can lift your hips toward the sky and settle your heels back. That will help to lengthen out your arms. If you feel any discomfort in your wrists, come on back down to the mat and start over. So come back up, lift the hips, and settle back into your heels. And breathe. Let your head and neck relax. Soften your gaze toward your knees. And then let your knees soften. Walk your feet towards your hands. Settle into a forward fold. Let your knees bend. Feel the crown of your head release to the mat. Let a hand come to each elbow. And you can let yourself gently rock from side to side. Breathe. Let's exhale those fingers to the ground. On an inhale, reverse your swan dive. So let your arms come out, rise to the sky. And settle back a bit. Now inhale tall. Let's let those hands come to prayer heart. We're going to release into a yoga squat. So we're going to open up the hips. Notice because this is a short practice, we're going to be working on areas that are notorious for holding on to tensions. We want to start to release tension in those common areas. So we're going to come to the hips now. We work shoulders, we work neck, we worked our back a bit. So let's release down into our squat. So let your toes open out, let your heels come in just a bit, and start to release down toward the mat. Now your squat might be right here. If this is where your body is telling you to stop, stop here. You can also bring a chair, sit that chair in front of you. If your body is telling you you can go further, feel free to lower down as far as it's comfortable. Take a moment, adjust the feet. Your hands can come to prayer at your heart. Your elbows can open the knees. See if you can lift a little higher through the crown of the head and to settle from side to side, just releasing into those hips. Backing off whenever you need. Let's settle to center. Drop our fingers to the mat. Let those buns rise to the sky. Walk your feet together. And let's reverse a swan dive. So inhale your arms out. Back stays nice and long. Rise. Reach. Settle back. Inhale tall. On an exhale, swan dive forward. Let the fingers come to the mat. We're back to that forward fold. We're going to go through our one kind of abbreviated sun salutation for this short practice. Step your feet back. You can walk your hands forward a bit. Release again into those heels. Now on our next inhale, we're going to come forward to plank. Now our goal here is to start building up upper body strength. So if you can hold this with the knees up, feel free to lower down from that full plank. If not, let your knees drop, hug your elbows in, and as you exhale, imagine your chin and chest taking the lead, coming down to the mat. Let your entire front side of your body come to the mat. Let's bring our forearms, press up into our Sphinx pose and hang out here. If you'd like, you can press, straighten the arms. Be very aware of where your shoulders are landing. We want you to release them back, not let them hunch. We want to let them settle back. Now, if this is feeling good and you feel like you may still have a little space in that low back, walk your hands back and let your chest rise. And let the shoulders settle back. And breathe. Turn your toes. Press back through all fours. Lift up, find a downward dog. Soften your knees, walk your feet to your hands. Just release into that forward fold again. A little give in the knees. Let your arms hang for your shoulders. On your next inhale, reverse your swan dive. Let those arms come out and rise. Reach those fingers to the sky, settle back. Inhale tall. Drop your hands to your sides. Let's come to the front of our mat. So warriors. We're going to do a warrior one and a warrior two today, one on each side, just to kind of build up our strength for the day. Start to feel that power that we know that we have in our bodies. So soften your left knee. Pick the left foot up, send it straight back. With our warrior ones, we want our hips squared to the front of our mat. Soften into that forward knee. You can soften a little bit into that forward knee. You can soften a lot into that forward knee. Listening to where your body is telling you to be. The left hand can come to that left hip. Let's lift that left hand to the sky. Let the right arm come up to meet. Now, your warrior one may not look like this. You may be up higher, still feeling some good work on that front leg. You may be deeper. Find your space and breathe. Now on an exhale, let your hands come to your heart. Drop your hands to your hips. Turn your right toes forward, your left toes forward. Switch sides and turn your left toes out. Switch to the warrior one on the other side. So now we're going to be pulling that right hip forward, lifting through the crown. Soften in now the left forward knee. Now a little trick here to get those hips squared is to pull the right arm, the hip that's back, pull that arm forward and then lift it. Breathe. Couple of nice deep breaths here. Relax through your shoulders. Settle into that warrior one. Feel that strength, that power of your legs. On an exhale, the hands come to the heart. Release the hands to the hips. Straighten your legs. Back to standing. And if you'd like, you can shift your weight a bit from side to side. So let's come back to the front of our mat and do a warrior two. So from the front of the mat, soften your left knee again. Pick that left foot up. This time as we step back, we want to think about opening to the long side of our mat. So our right foot is forward. Let yourself soften in to that right knee. I have my feet lined up against the outside right edge of my mat. This helps me to kind of keep this plane of my body in my mind. So we soften in to that forward right knee. Let your hands come to your hips. Press the left hip back. Bring your right arm up over the right leg, left arm over the left. Relax your shoulders. Turn your gaze out over the middle finger of that right forward hand and breathe. Again, your warrior two might not be this deep, or it might be deeper. Listen, feel that work, and breathe. Let's open the side a bit, to the side of our body. Drop your right hand to your right knee. Lift the left hand to the sky, let it float back. You can stay here, or you can drop the elbow. Now when you drop that elbow, if this starts to happen, if that top arm starts to kind of float forward on you, come back to the hand. Imagine a string attached to this hip, this hand. And then as that elbow comes down, if the hip and the arm stay up, feel free to stay right here. Probably feeling an intense stretch here along the side. That is fantastic. Breathe. Let's inhale, come back through a warrior two. Drop our arms, straighten that forward leg. Turn those right toes forward, left toes out. Just like the warrior one, we're going to switch sides. Let your right hand come to that right hip, guide it back. Soften in that left forward knee. One thing I forgot to mention on the other side, we never want our knee going out over our toes. So we want to make sure that we've got enough space between our legs that we can release comfortably into that warrior two. So I'm going to let my right hand kind of guide that right hip back. Bring those arms up again. Come into that forward knee. Relax your shoulders. Send your gaze out over the middle finger of that left forward hand. Nice deep breath. Lifting up through the crown of your head, hugging in through your belly. Exhale the left hand to the left knee. With your right arm to the sky. Just like on the other side, keeping that side length. So you should be feeling a stretch all the way up the side of that right leg. You can stay there, or you can drop the elbow. Same as on the other side, making sure that this right hand, the top hand, is staying up. You can even settle it back just a little bit. Imagine the heart center opening. Let's inhale, come back through a warrior two. This time, drop the hands, turn your toes forward, and let's release into a straddle forward fold. You can put a little bit of a give in your knees. Feel the release through the inner thighs, through the buttons. If you'd like, you can pigeon toe just a little bit, turn those toes in and drop in to wherever your straddle forward fold may be. Now, let's press up through those palms. Soften your knees. Let your feet walk together. We're going to reverse the swan dive. So inhale your arms out, rise, reach. Settle your hands to the heart. One more downward facing dog, just to get us to our mat. So as you inhale, let the arms rise. As you exhale, release the arms, drop the fingers to the mat, step your feet back, press in to your downward dog. Soften the right knee, drop it to the mat. As you come around to seated, stretch your legs out in front of you. Pull your toes towards you. Sit up nice and tall and reach for the toes. Your fingers may not reach your toes, that's fine. Let them settle in on your leg wherever they happen to land. On an exhale, release the crown of your head forward. When we inhale, we lift through the crown. We exhale, we release the nose toward the knee. Breathe. On your next inhale, come back to seated. Take your knees with you. Hug your knees into your chest. As you roll back onto your back, just make some circles side to side. Then let the soles of your feet drop to the mat. Lift your hands to the sky. Bring yourself back up through seated. You're welcome to stay right here. If you needed a little momentum to find your way up, that is fine as well. We're finding our way to the boat pose. Your boat might be right here. You can try walking those feet out a little ways. Engage your core, so hug your belly button in, start to release back, engaging the core. Slightest twinge in the lower back. Your feet are going to come right back to the mat and you'll come back to seated. So whatever point your body is at here, let it be. If you'd like, you can lift your right leg. You can lift your left. You can straighten, breathe. Core work. So engaging that core, feeling the work. Your quads will feel the work. Your abdominal muscles will feel the work. Let's take our knees with us. Roll to your back. Hard work's done. Make some circles with those knees. On an exhale, let both knees drop to the left and turn your gaze to the right. Breathe. Let's inhale our knees back through center. On an exhale, drop both knees to the right, turn your gaze to the left. Inhale your knees back to center. On an exhale, drop the soles of your feet to the mat. Let your legs stretch out in front of you. It's time for you to find your Shavasana, your final relaxation, wherever that may be. Now settle in on your back, let your eyes close. Take a gentle scan of your body from the tips of your toes to the crown of your head. Imagine your body releasing any tension, any negative energy, anything that's not serving you well today. As you settle into this space, take as much time as you need. You can stay here for a minute, 5 minutes. You can set your timer for 10 minutes, whatever feels good for you and depending on how much time you have. So as you settle into your final relaxation, your Shavasana, I'm going to let you go today with a thank you for joining me for this short practice. May you be healthy, may you be happy, and may you live in peace. Namaste, and have a wonderful rest of your day.